Nothing hurts quite like seeing your favorite character get brutally betrayed. My name is Pantry5 with a Watchromo.com collab, and today we'll be doing one of our most requested countdowns of all time. Romeo and Juliet is a well-known story and anime in the modern realm that is still honored to this day for its thrilling betrayals and themes of all kinds. With that said, here are the top 5 anime betrayals in Romeo and Juliet. As you will probably be able to tell by these tragic points, in Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, betrayal is not worth revealing. Before we start the countdown, let me tell you about our sponsor for the day, Eastside Mario's. Eastside Mario's is a life-changing pizza restaurant with all of the freshest ingredients around. Stay tuned for the end of the video for more info. Without further ado, let's jump into the list.
Number 5, Romeo went to the Capulet party. At number 5, we have Scene 1, Act 4, Line 1. The last thing you want at your Capulet party is a Montague with his feet on your floor. However, it turns out that might be just what you get. An anonymous Montague attended a Capulet party and stole the heart of the Capulet daughter. This shocked the community of Verona and insulted the Capulet family. Before he attended the event, he was heard saying, "What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?" This can be interpreted as what their excuse is for being there. This is a betrayal to the Montague family for going to their enemy's party and falling in love with the enemy.
Number 4. Romeo and Juliet falling in love and admitting their mistake. At number 4, we have the betrayal of the two families after Romeo and Juliet vowed to marry in private. After the party at the Capulets' place, they both admit to themselves that they are supposed to despise each other, as they are not supposed to love the offspring of their worst enemy. They both are surprised in finding out this terrible news after first meeting, but still manage to meet once again that night and vow to marry the next day, betraying their family's wishes. "Is she a Capulet? Oh dear account, my life is my foe's debt," said Romeo after realizing how terrible what just happened really was. Romeo also is even potentially betraying Rosaline as he forgot about her on a whim after seeing Juliet, which for all we know, Rosaline could have done something like kill herself after finding out what Romeo did, adding to the tragedy if she actually cared about Romeo. Anyway, this iconic covenant Romeo and Juliet make on the balcony ultimately creates a chain of betrayal and makes betrayal a prominent theme in the entire story. Quite the cringe-worthy moment in the grand scheme of things, really.
If that thy bent of love be honourable, yes, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee.
Number 3, Romeo and Juliet marry. At number 3 on this list, we have the ultimate disrespect to their families, where they finally got married. This was major disrespect to both families, as they were arranging a marriage for Juliet to County Paris. "For by your leaves, you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1. They'll probably divorce like a week later, so it doesn't really matter much to the story. They also didn't tell anyone about the marriage. Talk about selfish. Am I right?
Extraordinary. Your story, it does put me in mind of another.
It does?
Oh, indeed, yes, there are remarkable similarities.
Number 2. Romeo murders Tybalt. After the two kids get married by the friar in private, of all things, a whopping 1 day later, Romeo messes it up and is banished from Verona after killing his new relative, Tybalt. "Oh, I am Fortune's fool," proclaimed Romeo once the realization of the hideous act he just committed settled in. Sure, he tried to avoid fighting with him, but ultimately betrayed his wife, the town, his cousin-in-law, end the Capulets and ruin his new relationship with Juliet. He even betrayed himself. What a turn of events from one rash decision. Way to go, Romeo. Honorable mention. The friar and the apothecary giving and selling illegal drugs to the kids. Before we head on to number 1, here is our mind-blowing honorable mention. Drugs are the answer, and it shows by how Friar Lawrence and the apothecary illegally gave and sold sketchy drugs to some kids and betrayed the church and the families by helping the children get married. The friar telling Juliet to "take thou this vial" was all we needed to know what was gonna happen next. Even the apothecary provided Romeo with an illegal suicide drink, as mentioned before. Seems a little shady if you ask me, and the consequences of these were heavy, but made for a good book, so whatever. Let's just move on to number 1.
Number 1. Juliet faked death to skip her arranged marriage. Taking the final spot on this list, we have Juliet's suicide. She was crossed into the shadow realm after drinking a potion she acquired from Friar Lawrence.